Welcome into the Big East Fall Sports Update. I'm Meghan Caffrey, joined alongside my partner, John Fanta. Thank you so much for joining us this week on Wednesday instead of our normal Tuesday. John and I were out in Queens yesterday as St. John's introduced their newest athletic director, Mike Craig. You spoke with Mike after the conference. What excited you the most about the future of St. John's athletics after that?
His experience and his imagination for the future. He kept using that word, imagination, because he saw St. John's as a wonderful opportunity. He had actually found out about the job opening when he was on vacation. And so I thought it was cool that he jumped right on it right away. And this is a guy who spent over 3 decades with Mike Krzyzewski and Duke, and you know what they've done in men's basketball. He wants to bring that to St. John's basketball and beyond. So Mike Craig, this is a guy who's got tons of experience, and he'll bring that to Queens.
We're going to talk more about St. John's, specifically their men's soccer team, a little bit later in the show. Also, a little later, we'll see my interview with the Georgetown women's soccer player, Caitlin Farrell. I spoke with her. We'll get into that. But first, John, it's our favorite part of the week.
It's top plays time, and we've got the top 4 from the last week in Big East Fall Sports. And we start with the Providence Friars. This, the dagger goal. Gil Santos dishing it off to Danny Griffin. Another look at it here as Friartown celebrating 50 years of men's soccer. They get the win.
Checking in at number 3, Seton Hall and Butler women's soccer. Amanda Kowalski on the corner kick.
This is crazy. Wow.
Bulldogs shut out the Pirates 3-0.
To do that from the corner, that is just nasty. At number 2, Jasmine Ruiz. This proved to be the game winner for the Villanova Wildcats to go on the road at Xavier. They needed some magic, and they get the clutch heroics from Ruiz. That is an absolute missile, and the big fist to the chest with the celebration, we'll give that a 10 out of 10.
And checking in at number 1, Marquette St. John's women's soccer, right side of the box. It's freshman forward Alyssa Bombasino.
Love that name.
The best name that you could have in soccer, maybe, right?
Bombasino. I mean, you got to love it, and that was a big-time goal for the Golden Eagles. I also love that net at Valley Fields, that blue-gold. Always a fitting touch to the pitch.
Exactly. And another fitting touch to the pitch. Well, Creighton men's soccer, John, they are off to a phenomenal start in Big East Conference play. What excites you the most about this team?
They're motivated from a tough 2017 campaign where they exited in the first round of the Big East tournament. This team's got fire in them, Megan. We know what they can do defensively. Thus far in Big East men's soccer play, they've been an absolute machine. They've shut everybody out. So when I look at what Creighton has done there, that's impressive. And they've got balance offensively. 6 different players have scored. You combine the offensive balance, you combine that with Paul Cruz in goal, and the Creighton Blue Jays have the perfect combination right now, and it's why they've started perfect in Big East play.
And it's also, John, why they're continuing to climb in the national polls. They hit the 8th spot this week with their victories against Jacksonville and Seton Hall last week, and it's just proving it right there.
Yeah, Sven Koenig putting that one in, and he's got 6 goals on the season for Creighton. This is a Jays team that I look at and I think to myself, they can go deep in the NCAA tournament because they've got all the pieces and parts to do it.
You know who else is also looking exciting this year, John? Providence and St. John's men's soccer as well. I mean, they were chosen in the preseason soccer poll a little bit midway, and now they're having really great starts to conference play as well.
Well, for the Providence Friars, they got off to a bumpy start to conference play with a loss at Depaul. But since then, they're finding the clutch goals they've been looking for. When we were talking to people around this program early in league play, they were saying, we just can't finish right now. Well, guess what? They're starting to finish. They're doing just that, and that's what stands out to me about the Friars. They're getting big-time goals in clutch moments. Here's the dagger goal here. We just talked about it. Griffin and Santos combining, and for the Friars, they're starting to finish. Everybody in the Big East at the top can defend, but you've got to put the ball in the back of the net, and that's what Providence is doing. And then for St. John's, Matt Forster has been a machine for them, and another win this past weekend over Butler. What a start.
John, the Red Storm is riding a 4-match unbeaten streak right now, and the last time St. John's started off with a 2-0-1 or better record in the Big East play was back in 2008. It's been a decade.
And in 2008, St. John's went to the College Cup.
So if you start off like that.
Well, it just shows you they've got the resume thus far, and look at that. They were picked in the bottom 4 of Big East men's soccer, Megan. That's exceeding expectations at its finest, and that's what sets the table. I mean, folks, if you like Big East soccer, you're watching this show right now. St. John's and Creighton in Queens on Saturday. Megan will be on the sidelines for it. I'm pumped.
Oh, I'm so excited. I'm excited to start getting with my coaches' calls and just to see how this plays out. 2 really dominant offenses, and I'm excited to see them. But you know who's also been dominant this year, John?
Who do we got?
Georgetown women's soccer.
Wow.
They are just continuing to get national recognition. They climbed again in the national polls this week, coming in at number 5 in the United Soccer Coaches poll. And I spoke with our Big East Offensive Player of the Week, Caitlin Farrell. Welcome to the Fall Sports Update, the Big East Offensive Player of the Week, Georgetown senior forward, Caitlin Farrell. Caitlin, thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
Caitlin, you scored in your team's win over Seton Hall on Sunday. That marked the 6th game that you have scored, the 6th straight game that you've scored. What do you credit that success to?
I mean, I think definitely as we've gotten more into the season and now we're in conference, I think our team has really started to come together and figure it out on the offensive end. So we've been scoring more goals recently, just collectively, and then it's been great that I've been able to contribute to that and score in the last 6 games.
What's the chemistry like with you on offense?
So I think that's been really, really good this year. I think overall we have a great team chemistry, and then up top, we've all are figuring out where people like certain balls or where people like to play and what they like to do. So I think that's really been opening up recently, and now we all know what we want to do, and it's been working out together. So that's been great.
Caitlin, last year you finished 3rd on the team in scoring with 8 goals. This year you've already scored 8 goals. You have 9 on the season.
Yeah.
How have you developed from last year to this year?
I mean, I feel like it's always been the same mentality, just do anything and everything that you can to help the team out. And so I think in past years, I think it's been more, I've had more assists. And then this year it's been nice that I've been scoring more and contributing in that way. But really at the end of the day, it's just the same mentality from everyone on the team. It's doing everything you can to add to the team's success.
This summer, Caitlin, you traveled to California to take part in the U23 U.S. national team camp. What did you learn there that you've taken into this season?
I mean, that was just an absolutely incredible experience and such an honor to go out to California and represent your country. And I definitely learned so much from all the coaches there and then all the players. And then it was just an added bonus that I got to meet Kira 4 months earlier, whatever it was, so that we could see how each of us like to play and just get to know her on and off the field. So that was just all around a really, really great experience.
How did meeting Kira earlier on really help your chemistry that the 2 of you have had this season?
So that was really nice. I mean, she's so fun to be around, so friendly. As Dave says, she loves to talk. So it was really, really easy talking with her and meeting her for the first time. And then we just carried that right into preseason because we already knew each other. We'd already seen each other play. So I feel like that chemistry was just right there to begin with.
Caitlin, also, I have to wish you a happy belated birthday. Your birthday was this past Saturday. You told me you got to celebrate it with your teammates. What did you guys do to celebrate?
I swear they sang happy birthday to me like every 20 minutes. So that was fun. And then it was nice at the restaurant we went to. They gave me a little piece of cake and they sang to me again. But it was really just great. I got to spend it with all my best friends and everyone who's important to me. So that was great.
What was your birthday dinner meal?
It was Italian. I don't know about the other teams, but Italian is the go-to meal for Georgetown women's soccer.
Did you get some pasta?
Yes, definitely. Lots of pasta, lots of bread. It was great.
Speaking of food, where's your favorite place to go out and eat around Georgetown?
Oh, wow, that's a tough one. There's a lot of really good places here. I mean, I feel like the Italian food here is really good. We have this restaurant called Filomena, which the portion size is just massive. So you really get a lot for what you're getting, but that's probably my favorite.
And if you can't finish it that night, you get leftovers, right?
Exactly, which is perfect.
Caitlin, thank you so much for joining me today. Congratulations on all the success you've had and continue throughout the season.
Thank you.
I always say it to people, because she was talking about Italian food for her birthday, that if I were stuck on an island and could only have one food, it would be garlic bread.
Ooh, garlic bread. Okay, and also I think the secret to success must be Italian food for soccer teams,
I think
right?
so.
You carb load and then you win the next day.
I would have to say so. I mean, it's a formula for success for the Georgetown Hoyas. They've won 9 in a row, and in soccer, that's tough to do, because if a team plays back behind the ball and they're going to defend you for 90 minutes like a lot of teams are doing against Dave Nolan's squad, it doesn't matter, though. It doesn't matter. This team's loaded with pieces and parts, and it looks like we're on a collision course for Georgetown and Butler in women's soccer.
It definitely looks that way, John. The two teams are having so much success. Butler coming in right now, second in Big East play. And you look at the two of them right next to each other, they look really similar.
They do, and they are similar in this regard. Get this, folks. In Big East play, Butler's outscoring opponents 5-0. Georgetown, 9-0. 9-0. That is just nasty. Yeah, they're scoring, but these teams defensively are so sound. I don't know what more to say other than I love both of them to get far in the NCAA tournament and potentially meet for a Big East title. We could see a preview of that October 21st as we look at the rest of the league.
And you know who stands out to me this past weekend? Villanova, John. They had a 2-0 weekend beating Marquette and Xavier and scoring multiple goals in those games.
That stands out to me. Another team that I'm intrigued by as conference play forges ahead is Depaul. We saw them earlier in league play. They get the win over Creighton. Madeline Frick is really coming on. You know, we talk about Franny Cerny. I think the key for Depaul is, can Madeline Frick, can Lazo, can those types of players be able to step up and give Depaul some balance? Because we know what Franny Cerny can do, but Megan, teams are going to keep zoning in on Franny. The best teams are the ones who find balance, and I think Depaul could find that as we go ahead.
And definitely if Franny can then move the ball around, then she gets help, and then who knows, she might be open.
Exactly. That's what the name of the game is.
We have a lot of great games to look forward to this weekend. John, you and I mentioned it already, Creighton and St. John's men's soccer, but we have a couple other ones as well.
We do, as you just said, the Villanova Wildcats women's soccer taking on now the 5th-ranked Georgetown Hoyas. So that'll be an interesting Sunday afternoon showdown. But let's zone in on Creighton and St. John's. A showdown for first in BE football. This is Saturday night, 7 Eastern time. It's Pat O'Keefe and you. You guys have the call on Big East Digital, and let's look at the Creighton Blue Jays and what they bring to the table. They've got the Offensive Player of the Week.
Well, exactly. They bring that. They bring offense. They bring Sven Koenig with them. And the senior forward provided 3 goals for the Blue Jays last week. Both goals in their win over Jacksonville, the lone goal in their shutout over Seton Hall. And he just is continuing to produce for the Blue Jays.
Yeah, we talked about what Akeem Ward can do in that back line, and there's no question that the Jays can really beat teams defensively, but what they've found from this offense and getting the balance that they've had with 6 different Blue Jays scoring goals, but now they're going to have to go up against the Johnnies. Lenny Wilson's riding a hot hand in net, and for St. John's, they need to get Matt Forrester in space. They need to find Jack Shearer as well. I think the concern for St. John's is just finding the offensive production, but this is going to be a chess match between Elmar Bolowich and Dave Mazer.
Oh, and it's also going to be maybe a chess. Exciting to see the goaltenders in play too. I mean, we've got 2 really great goaltenders.
Cruz is one of the best in the nation in goals against average and has several shutouts as well.
Well, and I love the statistic too that Cruz is leading the Big East right now in goals against average, and guess who's right behind him at second? Lenny Wilson.
Lenny Wilson.
So
you got Wilson, you got Cruz, you got Saturday night, you got Megan on the sidelines. I mean, I don't know what more you could ask for. I'm watching that game.
Well, thank you very much. Get your Fox Sports apps out. Make sure you watch it and tune in too. I'll be really excited to have you guys joining me.
Cannot wait. Reminder, Big East shoot-around back tomorrow at 1 Eastern time. We will unveil the Big East Preseason Player of the Year fan voting. The first round of that bracket is complete, so we'll have the results for you tomorrow.
I'm so excited to see those results. Be sure to tune in and check out John on Thursday tomorrow. And as always, tune with us again next week. Thank you so much for joining us.